If your toddler is whining, screaming, grabbing, or hitting, you have probably said, "Use your words." But sometimes your toddler already knows the words. They are just having trouble finding and organizing them while they are upset. So instead of asking for words, try giving them the words first. You wanted the truck. You need help.
Or, if someone might get hurt, I won't let you hit. You're angry. You wanted another turn. Then, when their body is calmer, you teach what they can say next time. That is the shift. Boundary first, language second, teaching later. And this matters because there are actually 3 very different moments parents often treat as the same. A child who can talk and only needs a gentle prompt. A child who is too overwhelmed to find the words easily right now. And a child who is trying to communicate, but you genuinely cannot work out what they need. The response should not be identical in all 3. So let me show you how to tell the difference and exactly what to say in each one. Imagine Ethan is 3. He is playing beside his cousin Mia. Mia picks up a red truck Ethan wanted. Ethan reaches for it. Mia holds it closer. He reaches again. His face tightens. His voice gets louder. And then he grabs the truck and pushes her arm. Sarah steps in close enough to keep both children safe without gripping tightly or pulling. And a completely natural response would be, "Ethan, use your words. Tell Mia what you want." Because Ethan does have words. Yesterday, when he was calm, he happily said, "Can I have a turn?" So why can't he just say it now? This is where toddler behavior can be misleading. Knowing a skill when you are calm and being able to use that same skill when you are frustrated are not exactly the same thing. Think about adults. You can know exactly what you want to say before a difficult conversation. Then the conversation begins. Your heart starts beating faster. Someone says something unexpected. You become frustrated. And suddenly, the perfect sentence you had in your head is nowhere to be found. 10 minutes later, you think, "That's what I should have said." Your language did not disappear. It simply became harder to organize under pressure. For a toddler, that challenge is much bigger because several skills are still developing at the same time. Waiting, stopping an impulse, understanding what someone else is saying, handling disappointment, finding the right words, and putting those words together while still feeling upset. That is a lot for a young brain to manage at once. But here is an important distinction, and I want to be clear about it. This does not mean toddlers cannot control themselves, and it does not mean every difficult behavior can be excused by saying, "Their nervous system made them do it." Children still need boundaries. Hitting is not okay. Even when we understand why it happened, they still need guidance, and they still need to learn better ways to communicate. The question is simply, is this the best moment to teach that skill? Because teaching works differently when a child is mildly frustrated than when they are already deeply overwhelmed. And that is what "not ready yet" really means. It does not mean, "My child isn't ready to talk." It means, this particular moment may not be the best time to test a skill they are still learning. Now, go back to Ethan and the truck. He is crying. His body is tense. He wants the toy. And Mia is upset too and needs comfort. Sarah says, "Use your words." Now Ethan has several jobs at once. Listen to Mum. Understand the instruction. Stop himself from grabbing. Find the phrase. Say the phrase. And somehow cope with the fact that Mia still has the truck. Sometimes he will be able to do that. And this is important. Use your words is not automatically a bad phrase. If Ethan is only mildly frustrated, still looking at Sarah, still listening, and still able to respond, a prompt may work perfectly well. Sarah might say, "Tell Mia, my turn next." And Ethan says, "My turn next? Perfect, no problem." The issue comes when we keep demanding language from a child who is already showing us that language is difficult to organize right now. Use your words. What do you want? Tell me. Stop whining. Say it properly. Come on. Use your words. The parent becomes more frustrated because you know this word. Why won't you say it? And the child becomes louder because whatever they are trying to communicate still is not working. Now both of them are getting more overwhelmed together. This is the trap. We are trying to teach communication, but the moment has quietly become a test. So here is what to do instead. Sarah moves close enough to stop Ethan grabbing again, calmly blocking, not gripping, restraining, or pulling. And instead of asking another question, she says, "You really wanted that truck." That's all. Not. Mia had it first and you need to wait because we don't grab things from other children. Too many words. Just, "You wanted the truck, then the limit," said kindly and clearly. "Mia is using it. I won't let you grab it. I'm going to keep you both safe." And then Sarah can model the language. You can say, "My turn next." But here's the part that matters. She does not have to make Ethan repeat it. No, say it. Come on. What do you say? "I'm waiting." Because then we've simply turned the new phrase into another test. She can just model, "My turn next." Ethan heard the language. He saw the boundary. He saw Mia being comforted too. And he experienced what communication can sound like when he could not easily find those words himself. Later, when the moment is calm, not in the middle of tears, remember when you wanted Mia's truck? You can say, "My turn next." Want to practice? That's where teaching becomes much easier. So remember this. If they can access the words prompt, if they're overwhelmed model, if someone is unsafe, hold the boundary first. When calm, teach. And tell me in the comments what this looks like in your home. When your toddler can't find the words, do they usually whine, scream, hit, point, or completely shut down? I read these because they help me choose the real parenting moments we talk about here next. Now let's make that practical. Your toddler stands beside the kitchen counter. They point towards their cup. "Mummy!" They're frustrated, but they are still looking at you. They're still able to listen. This child may be ready for a prompt. Try. "Tell me, water, please." Your toddler says, "Water." Good. That counts. You don't need. No, say the whole sentence. We are not testing grammar. We are helping a child discover, my words can help other people understand me. But now imagine the same child later. They're exhausted. Dinner is late. They wanted the blue cup. The blue cup is dirty. And suddenly they're crying on the kitchen floor. Now asking, "What do you want?" 5 times may only create more pressure. So make the problem smaller. You wanted the blue cup. Pause. It's being washed. You can have the green cup or this one. You acknowledged what happened. You gave simple language, and you still held the limit. You do not need to give them the blue cup just because they are upset. Understanding a feeling and changing a boundary are 2 different things. Now Ethan asks for another biscuit. Sarah says, "Not now. Dinner is soon." Ethan shouts and swings his hand towards her. In this moment, communication is not the first job. Safety is. Sarah calmly blocks the hit hand out to stop, not to hurt, and makes a little more space. "I won't let you hit. That keeps us safe." Then, you're angry. You wanted another biscuit, and the boundary stays. We're not having another one now. Notice what Sarah does not do. She doesn't demand. "Tell me you're angry." She doesn't ask, "Why did you hit me?" She doesn't lecture. You know we don't hit people, not while Ethan is still highly upset. Later, when he is calmer, "You were really angry when I said no. Next time you can tell me, 'I'm mad,' or 'I want another biscuit.' I will listen, and I still won't let you hit." That last sentence matters, because emotionally intelligent parenting is not every feeling means every behavior is okay. It is your feeling is allowed. The boundary still exists. Now imagine your toddler is crying and pointing. You offer their cup. "No!" A snack. "No!" Teddy. "No!" You have guessed 5 things. Nothing is right. And now your patience is disappearing too. This is when "use your words" can come out very quickly. But perhaps your child is genuinely trying and cannot explain it clearly enough yet. Instead, reduce the pressure. "I can't tell yet. Show me." Or offer 2 possibilities, which is much easier than a wide-open question. "Do you want this or this?" And if you still cannot figure it out, "I know you're trying to tell me. I don't understand yet. I'm staying with you while we figure it out." Sometimes there isn't an immediate solution. You don't need to pretend there is. Connection does not require perfect understanding. Now you're in a shop. Your toddler spots something they want. You say no. They cry. Then they drop to the floor. And suddenly, you feel something your toddler probably doesn't. Everyone watching. That's when adults often start using more words. "Tell me what's wrong." Use your words. "We've already talked about this. Please stand up. Everyone can see you." But when a child is already overwhelmed, adding more language usually doesn't create more understanding. Make your words smaller. "You wanted that toy. We're not buying it today." Then, "You're upset. I'm here." If they become unsafe, calmly block, and if you can, gently move to a quieter spot while keeping the same boundary. Not as a punishment, just to give you both more space. Then teach later. Not because the child escaped responsibility, because a lesson only works when the learner can actually receive it. There is another mistake I want to protect you from. Once parents learn about naming feelings, they sometimes feel pressure to say the perfect, emotionally intelligent sentence every time. You don't need to turn every toddler moment into a therapy session. Usually, simpler is better. "You wanted it. That's hard. I won't let you hit. I'm helping." 4 or 5 words can be enough, and you will sometimes guess the feeling wrong. You say, "You're angry." Your child shouts, "No, sad." Fine. You do not need to know exactly what is happening inside their mind. You can simply say, "Sad. You felt sad." They corrected you. They used language. That's communication too. And children are different. A 2-year-old will not communicate like a 4-year-old. Temperament matters. Language development matters. Neurodevelopment matters. And communication can become harder when a child is tired, hungry, frightened, overstimulated, or intensely frustrated. If your child often struggles to find words even when calm, or if hitting, biting, or intense distress happens a lot and doesn't ease with consistent boundaries, it's a good time to talk with your pediatrician, health visitor, or early years professional who knows your child. This video is for education, not medical advice. So don't turn this into another rigid parenting rule. Never say use your words. That isn't the point. The better question is, can my child use those words right now? If yes, prompt, "Tell me, help please." If they're overwhelmed, model, "You need help, I'm helping." If they're unsafe, boundary, "I won't let you hit, I'm keeping everyone safe." And when they're calm, teach, Next time you can say, "Help me." That's the pattern. So the next time your toddler is crying, reaching, whining, or struggling to explain what they need, before automatically saying, use your words. Look at the child in front of you. Can they still listen and respond? Then give them a gentle prompt. Are they overwhelmed? Lend them the language. Are they hurting someone? Stop the behavior first, safely. And once the moment has passed, teach the skill you want to see next time. Because children don't learn communication only from being told to communicate. They also learn it by hearing us put simple words around experiences they are still learning to express. If these kinds of moments are what you're trying to understand differently, subscribe to Still Hours Parenting. Here, we look underneath the behavior, understand what may be happening, and give you practical words you can actually use. Today, you may have to say, "You wanted a turn." One day, they may say, "My turn next." Today you may say, "You're angry. I won't let you hit." And one day, instead of hitting, they may be able to tell you, "I'm angry." Not because you found one perfect parenting sentence, but because over time they were given boundaries, language, practice, and another chance. So you don't need to stop teaching your toddler to use their words. You may simply need to change when you ask for those words, and what you do when they are difficult to find. Boundary first, language second, teaching later. And little by little, the words you once had to lend them start becoming their own.